No. It was growing on my forehead, but now it's growing on my stomach. Listen, it's Sir David the Bard. I'm coming to you from the Indian reservation here. The Sioux, the Choctaw, the Navajo Indian reservations here in Utah. The tribal councils invited me down to, I got the boo-boo. I fell down. I didn't know that old people fell down. God dang. Old people fall down. Anyway, I'm not seriously injured. My ego is. My ego is. When someone says, what happened? I fell down. They say, well, you're old. I go, no, I'm not. Anyway, I wanted to share with you the Mormon Church's idea of the white and delightsome people, the Lamanites, who turn white and delightsome when they join the church. Now, this is a long belief. I'm old. This program started with the Mormon Church a year before I was born, 1947. Anyway, the Mormons believe, until DNA and until this program, that all the Indians were direct descendants from Laman and Nephi and Sarah and Lehi that came over here from Jerusalem. But now none of the genetics and DNA line up, and they thought, well, very much like the Catholic Church. You know, the Catholic Church, when they went into the West, they built the missions to bring the Christianity to the Indians. Okay? So a couple of religions have failed at this, and I'm going to give you the failure of the Mormon Church. They had a rent an Indian program. You could rent as many Indians as you wanted because they were brown and you didn't have to pay them. And that's gone on in Mitt Romney's life, and pretty much you want your lawn mowed or whatever. Here's what the Mormon Church did in the name of religion. They really believe the Book of Mormon. Now that's a number one problem right there. The Book of Mormon, ow, the boo-boo hurts sometimes. Owie! Anyway, they took upon themselves to put an Indian placement program in action. Now, here's what I've seen. My experience, I'm only telling you my experience, okay? When I went to BYU, I would see an Indian man walking, and he's just proud. And nothing wrong with that, proud. But his wife had to walk 10 or 15 paces behind him, and she's loaded down with all the kids and all the groceries, the car. She's towing the car. It fit right into the Mormon philosophy of a woman's role. So he walks proud, and she drags all those kids in the groceries. I saw that, and I thought, well, it's a different culture, and it's a different way of doing things. I was a bus driver going through college at BYU, and I bussed a couple of Indian groups, and they're very different. They don't have watches. They go on the sun. Sun time. And each Indian sees the sun differently. So if you tell them 12 o'clock, anywhere from 11 to 3 is 12 o'clock in Indian words. Beautiful people, gentle, good sense of humor. Some of their girls are really striking, beautiful. And so the Mormon Church decided, especially at BYU, that if you rent an Indian, they will turn white. And that's the church's goal. And of course, the church is true. So what the Mormon Church did was set up programs that went on to the reservations. And I've been on a couple of reservations, and the people don't live very good. I mean, it's pretty much a third world country, maybe a little bit better than a third world, but some of them don't have electricity. A lot of the Indian men drink. Not, a majority, but they do. Their educational systems are not good. They're a private country. The United States government and the United States has no authority on an Indian reservation. They can, put up gambling casinos and whatever, and now they're laughing their ass off at the white man coming in and putting money into the Indian reservation. Be that as it may, BYU and the Mormon Church endorsed renting Indians into foster care. So they would go into a tribe and say, you people certainly want to be white and delightsome, and some of them were Mormons, and they accepted that they were Nephites, Lehites, and Buhites. I don't know, but they said, hey, we want our children to have a good life and turn white. Take them. So, I don't know who's to blame here. The Indians were not as sophisticated as the white man and the Mormons, and so I guess the missionary effort was very sophisticated to steal the Indian kids out of their home, their culture, their language, and their environment. These weren't troubled Indians. They didn't have war paint on and riding bareback. They were just normal kids. Well, the Mormon Church then leaned on the members of the church because the Mormon Church ain't going to pay for anything, ever. So they forced, basically, the Mormon people to buy an Indian and support her or him, educate them, and pray daily that they will turn white. Not one of them turned white. Now the Mormons had to look at their doctrine and their philosophy and go, holy shit, it's not working. Maybe Joseph Smith was a carpetbagger, pedophile, money-hunting idiot. So, in 2000, they discontinued the program. The last Indian graduated from the program. I think they gave them breaks on tuition at BYU, and I think that they had classes for them not to put war paint on, not to walk behind a husband and carry everything. Ow. That's okay. Hey, it's okay. The Bard is okay. I've been praying to be able to go down on someone, but I didn't know it was going to be me. So anyway, I don't know if you can still buy or rent an Indian. The white man buys and sells slaves, black people and Indians, and then the brown people from Mexico water his lawn, and now he has no water in California. I don't know if you've seen a picture of the LA temple, but it looked like the temple from hell. It looked like Satan himself rules there. No trees, no grass, no heaven. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you because I haven't before. I forgot about the Indian program. After I left BYU, I never saw a rent an Indian. It was mostly done, I think, in the Utah, and the Utah Indians, reservation people. There was some hostility, not a lot that I can remember, that the Indian parents were not happy that their children were in foster care with a white family and learning English and learning in the schools and the history and math and science. Like I said, they're not a sophisticated nation, and I think they believed the Mormon BS, and they thought their kids would be white when they came home. They weren't. They still like Indians. Beautiful race of people. So anyway, it's too late now. The program shut down 15 years ago. So any of you throughout the world that are going to try and buy an Indian from Utah, there's none for sale. Any of you trying to buy black people, there's none for sale. You can't buy the presidents of the United States of America. And if you want to buy any gay people out of Utah, there's a lot of them. The Mormons will sell them for $1. Get them out of here. We don't want them in our temple. So the only thing left in Utah to buy are gay, lesbians, and transvestite, transsexual, trans. people. Those are the ones that the Mormons are now trying to sell and get rid of. So anyway, now you know. Now you know that they were trying to get the Indian kids to go, hey, lay, ale, oh God, hear the words of my mouth 3 times. They were trying to teach them the true order of prayer, and the Indians would go, they wouldn't do it. And if you don't do it, we're going to cut your throat, we're going to cut your heart out, and we're cutting your stomach out. And the Indians go, hey, we've been fighting the white man a long time. Cut whatever you want, we'll scalp you, you bastard. So anyway, when you say to an Indian, how are you doing in Utah, they'll say, health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and in the sinews, power in the priesthood, be upon me and be upon my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. How are you doing? So anyway, you've heard the bard. The bard's gone.